Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, we got Ron Wong down at Orlando at ICAST, and he's got a special guest on him with us this morning. That's our good friend David Fritz. So, Ron, take it away and have a little talk with David.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day in Orlando, Florida, and I am so fortunate to be at ICAST 2017. And, of course, yes, I guess it was Tuesday. I had the opportunity to be in the boat with a Mr. David Fritz for the ICAST Cup fishing tournament, and we didn't do real well. We didn't do real bad. We finished 12th out of 78 boats, so that was all good. But I got to tell you, having spent time with David on the boat, he showed me some new items here at ICAST, and one of them is the new Lew's crankbait rod that he helped design, and it's pretty amazing. I'm going to let David talk to all of our listeners about this new 9-foot crankbait rod. David, take it away.
All right, Ron. Thank you, buddy. It's, we have a new rod. Bass released a year ago that we could start using 10-foot rods now. And sometimes, the 10-foot rods are a little overwhelming. So we decided to make a collapsible 9-foot rod, which will go in everybody's rod box. It's as light as our 7-foot Lew's David Fritz speed stick cranking rod. So the advantages you have is, they sort of done away with strolling in a lot of tournaments, and so we need some way to be able to cast a little bit further, and this rod is really a good answer for that, because you can gain somewhere between 10 to 15 yards on your cast, and that's depending on who's doing the casting, but it's pretty impressive in how far you can throw, especially if you got a little breeze behind you. It is incredible. And I told Ron earlier, the only problem with this rod is you got to wind that bait back. And we're actually working on a reel to put more line on, because you just about throw all the line off your reel, off the BB1 reel. So something that's lightweight, you can throw all day long, 92% glass, so you're going to get good hookups, and something that you're going to be able to get your bait 2 to 5 feet deeper. So, something that's really asset in crankbait fishing.
Hey, David, this rod is pretty amazing. And, of course, feeling that thing, it is so light also. For a 9-foot rod, you'd never know it was a 9-foot rod. What are you using? What kind of reel are you using today, and what kind of line do you use to get the maximum distance with this heavy rod? And not heavy, long rod.
Yeah, that's right, Ron. It's, the BB1 is still the furthest casting reel made, and Lew's makes that. They make a BB1. We also have a BB1 Pro, which has been revamped and is new for this year. It has a totally new braking system, so it's very, very quiet. We have it on a new frame. And, these two reels, for some reason, they're a lot like the original Lew's back in the day. And you gain so much more length in your cast, and a lot of it has to do with the distance from the spool to where the line guide is. And actually, there's some other factors too, but anytime you can throw a bait further, you're going to become a better fisherman. And, these things do the work. They got a big handle for making cranking a little bit easier. Obviously, I'm going to throw 10-pound line probably 95% of the time. There are times that I will go to 8, and there are times I will go to 12. But, I like a low stretch mono sensation, like Berkeley sensation, or something with low stretch. And that allows me to feel my bait a little bit better. And there again, that's a line that goes a long way. If you got to have the right kind of braid with some kind of coating on it, that also works. You got to have a line that you can throw a long way, and no matter whose brand it is, keep experimenting until you find the line that's perfect for each individual person.
David, that's some awesome stuff, and I know Luz has come out with several other new products, like the crankbait, not crankbait, but new reels and a bunch of new combos and everything else. Hey, if somebody wants more information about Luz, the new crankbait rod, or any of the Luz products, where do they go, David?
As always, go to lose.com, and you're going to find anything you ever need or ever dream about in fishing. So, anyway, thank you, Ron.
Hey, great information here, straight from ICAST. We're sitting in the Luz booth, and it was wonderful to see all of the different products that they have. Larry, what do you think?
Ron, I know it sounds great, and I know Ron is hooked up with Zell Roland. We're going to try to hook up. We're having little technical difficulties from our end up here. We're fine, but we're having some problems, and that's radio to try to get the good signal for Ron to hear us and get back and forth. And a great segment. We got a few more minutes on this segment. We're going to talk to Zell Roland here momentarily.
Yeah. You know what? I got to tell you, Zell's coming out with, it's not a new product, but it's going to be a new show probably, and everything else, and what he's doing with kids, and that's pretty interesting. But I have to tell you, we got a few more minutes left in this segment.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity. Everybody knows that David Fritz is a crankbait fisherman. He is known as Mr. Crankbait.
That's right.
But I have to tell you, it was so funny to be able to fish with him, and he had to use plastic all morning long.
Oh, no.
Amazing. David, tell our listeners, what is it like to have to throw plastic? Soft plastic.
Well, Ron, soft plastics are fun to fish with. I don't like, or I'd rather be fishing a crankbait in competition just because, you can cover a little more water. A lot of times I get bigger bites, and I especially don't like fishing with you with plastic because you always catch the biggest one.
David, good stuff. I got to tell you, it was a fun morning. It was awful hot out there. There was no wind, but it's always a good time on the water.
You and David had a great time. What was the weather like down there?
It is hot. It is like 93 degrees and 100% humidity. I'm glad it's air-conditioned inside ICAST, and I have to tell you, there's only about 45 rows of fishing tackle, so, I have to tell you, I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, tell our listeners what it feels like to be at ICAST.
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, you better wear a good pair of shoes, and secondly, try to prioritize the companies that you want to see first, and then sometimes what I recommend is on the very first day is walk up and down each aisle and make a list of those that you want to stop by and visit at a later time. Otherwise, you won't get to see it all.
And we've already posted some of Ron's pictures on lroutdoors.com, and we'll have a lot of information from ICAST, right, Ron?
And you'll get a chance to see a lot more there on lroutdoors.com.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and see if we can hook up with Zell Roland, and maybe we can hear what's going on with Ron down there. So, Ron, you hang on, and we'll be right back to you, okay? Okay.
You can find out all about it on Outdoor